Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. Today we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ as we typically do, and also look at some positions that you can be taking very soon, if not by tomorrow, that have a lot of upside potential. So without further ado, let's get started here. On the NASDAQ, we currently are down 0.14%, so we didn't really go anywhere here, and I am calling a resistance line right here at 22,900. It's somewhat of a nice, pretty psychological level, pretty close to 23,000. So from here, I think there are two options. One's going to be the bullish scenario, and one's going to be a bullish scenario, but not as bullish. And I'll show you what that looks like here. One is going to be that we can break above this resistance level here. We come back down for a retest, and we start to move up. And the second one is going to be that we retest previous all-time highs, because every time we have a significant all-time high, and then a bear trend, we come back and we retest that level, and you can see that that's very evident from all this historical information that's shown on the chart. So that being said, you can come look for a retest, buy when you're down below at the all-time highs, and then continue moving higher. Now, when it comes to all-time highs, trading it, very simple. You just leave your position open, and that's it. And when you do get some sort of a bearish move, whether it's a huge bearish engulfing candle or a big change in momentum, that's when you're taking profit, that's when you're closing position. But as of now, ever since all-time highs or break of all-time highs, there's been nothing of that. So you're not closing your trades, because sometimes you're moving up 30-40% in these bull markets, so don't cut yourself short. Let's take a look at the heat map for the NASDAQ over here. It's been very mixed. Nvidia, Apple, Google have been up a tiny bit, but really for any of these stocks here, it's nothing too concerning and nothing that's really gonna, change the shape of the market. It's kind of just a consolidation day for everything there. And let's hop over to Apple. Yesterday, I would have given you this Apple trade, and I actually gave even my YouTube members here this free trade yesterday. And I do think that we're going to come back to 217 for Apple. And I was saying to buy right at below of the close yesterday, and that's exactly where we would have placed our trade today for a beautiful 6 risk-reward ratio. And you would be up 3.18% if you do trade with leverage. And I think Apple, it is slacking behind, and it typically slacks behind in these bull markets. But just take a look at 2024, around this time of the year, last year, you would have seen that we had a huge move to the upside there. And even when people were calling Apple to go down because of sales or slow or whatever, you had this massive explosion to the upside there. And I think we can find something like that with Apple as well, especially with a huge market bottom here and consistent higher highs and higher lows. So for Apple, if you did take that trade, congratulations. And for my Discord members as well, if you want to get more trades just like this one, we are currently placing trades almost every week on the TMP Finance Discord community. And we're currently up 174% on our NASDAQ trades alone, and about 40% on our stock trades as well. And that's just, well, the stock trades has just been the past week. So if you are interested in learning how to become a profitable day trader, and you're trying to take all the trades that I personally take, including stop loss, take profit, and percentage risk, you can take a look at the link in the description there for you. But let's take a look at the next stock here. We're going to take a look at UNH. We have a very obvious falling resistance over here. Now, this is a very unsustainable trend line as well. So I do believe that we will break this very soon. When we do break that, we can see a bit of a move to the upside. Now for UNH, it's not a damaged company. It's just been under a lot of bad circumstances. So that being said, I definitely think that UNH will recover. It may not be in a month, it may not be in 2 months. It might be in a couple of years from now, back up to the $600 mark. But if you are placing a trade on UNH, I definitely believe that you can go long. We have a very obvious bottom here, where we moved up about 20% in just 2 days, showing that there's a lot of buyers that are still interested in the stock here. You have the CEO, which is buying their own stock, and then you have higher highs and higher lows as well. Not very obvious, but it can be seen here. So I think that UNH is still going to be in some kind of either consolidation or bull market very soon. And don't miss out on that, because there's a very good risk reward trade that you can be taking. Stop loss right at the swing low of this previous kind of formation here, and take profit at the gap fill over at 377. And if you are looking to go even more bullish and you're looking at UNH for a long-term stock, which I think is a great idea, you can take a look at taking profit at the all-time highs here, or even waiting for new all-time highs and having your stop loss right at the swing low over here. And that's still a 6 risk reward trade as well. So whatever your risk appetite is, I think that there is a good chance for lots of risk or very little risk on UNH. So do take a look at that as well. Berkshire Hathaway. we are currently falling down 11% from the previous all-time high, and I'll just measure out here, nearly 12% there. Berkshire Hathaway has been extremely strong, being the NASDAQ in the past decade on average. And I definitely think that there's a lot of upside potential. Even if Warren Buffett were to pass, there's still huge management that is going to replace him, and there are talks about who's going to replace him as the CEO as well. And it's not just him doing the analysis now. I mean, again, he has a huge team managing billions of dollars, and I don't think that when he passes, it's all going to go to nothing. So that being said, there are two potential moves I can see for Berkshire Hathaway. Two realistic moves. There are three, and I'll show you a third, but I think the third is very unlikely. The first one being a break of this falling resistance here. And if we do get a break, let's say by even tomorrow, you are placing your stop loss right at the swing low, take profits at all-time high. And I think that's very possible because Berkshire Hathaway is always making an all-time high. And if we don't get a breakout right away, what you can be looking at, and this is based on my technical analysis here, if we follow the resistance line and we follow this support line that's been holding us up ever since 2022, what we can see is that we can come bounce around, consolidate, and then have this nice move to the upside here once we retest support around early to mid-August. So I can expect that as well. And that is perfectly in line with our earnings and revenue report for Berkshire Hathaway as well. So I think that can be a very smart move. And again, stop loss right to the swing low, wherever that was, and then your take profit at all-time high. And this is going to be a fantastic risk-reward move. When you take a look at these bounces off of key supports, that's when you get the most volatile moves with very little downside whatsoever. So Berkshire Hathaway, I am bullish on that. So do take a look at Berkshire Hathaway in the future. Let's take a look at Oscar over here. And I'm not very big on stocks that have a lot of hype around them and maybe not so much market cap. But Oscar was pointed out to me by one of my students. And what I can see here is that we are in a range here. We have the range starting at the top of about $23 a share. And then the bottom being at around $14 is very safe. If you want to take a look at where we're getting a lot of these touches, $13.37. But $14, I think you can place a nice trade there. And from there, you do have a lot of upside as well. 60% up just the top of the range there, and that's enough for me to get out of the stock and move on to the next, because that's a very nice return there. And I don't know about Oscar as a long-term stock, but I think in a quick move, especially with a lot of eyes on Oscar and a lot of hype, I think that it can be moving up pretty nicely there. If you don't want to wait and you are scared of missing out, placing a trade here is not a horrible idea. It's still above a 4 risk reward ratio, and you're still targeting the same thing for your stop loss and your take profit there. Again, we're currently crushing the market. We're currently up about 170%, 174% to be exact, for just our NASDAQ trades alone. And if you are interested in learning how to become a profitable day trader, come take a look at the link in the description, because we're currently beating the market. And from there, you're also going to get access to every single trade that I take, and only the trades that I'm currently taking, including take profit, stop loss, and percentage risk allocation. And the reason why I feel that I'm very good with my trading is just because I don't really care about missing out. I don't have any fear when it comes to the market. I do what my chart tells me, and I am completely unbiased when I trade. And then I think that day trading for a lot of people is about longevity, right? So just being very consistent to your trade plan, it's going to keep you golden. It's going to keep you raking in those profits. So if you are interested in learning how to trade like me, come take a look at that link. But that's going to be a wrap for today. I will see you tomorrow to wrap up this week. So have a good night, and I'll see you then. Later, y'all.